People, que pasa, sapa, say what they do. Now this part of the video is called the US ambassador, the US government, the US drug enforcement, everybody and their mama are targeting Jamaica. We are speaking about politicians and we're also speaking about persons in the private sector. Now, based on what the ambassador for America, we are speaking about a person whose name is Donald Tapia, said. They are targeting persons in the private sectors that are going to lose. As a matter of fact, many of them have gotten their visas revoked. We are talking about United States visa. And based on the information, it is said that they have their eyes on some people that claim to be businessmen. However, they are involved in all sorts of illicit activity. We are talking about smuggling and we are also speaking about drugs running. So therefore, he is saying that the United States is not only watching the government of Jamaica, RE, the politicians and public officials. However, them have them eyes set on every and anybody that is doing anything illegal. We are talking about illicit drugs. We are talking about weed. We are talking about cocoa. And we are speaking about the fire stick. So basically, he is making them know. He is putting out a warning. He is sending out a very clear and precise message that people watch on yourself, or else you are going to end up in some sort of indictment. We are talking about in the big yard. We are speaking about one-way ticket to foreign, no visa, no nothing, until after you get deported. A couple of, we are speaking about decades later, point blank and period. Now, based on the information, it is said that the US government and also the government of Jamaica are in the final stages or agreement of a memorandum of understanding between the two countries. And based on what the ambassador is saying, the Jamaican government have been very cooperative. Now, based on the information from the US official, he is making people know that a lot of persons have lost their US visa. We are talking about big business people. We are talking about some big names in Jamaica. Even though he did not divulge any sort of name or the number of persons, him just made them know that enough of them are going to lose them visa. And he even made a very clear statement. He said that they are more capable of getting a Chinese visa than ever ended up in the US again, unless of course they're going to be indicted. So people, we are talking about some very strong, we're speaking about some precise warning, and who not take heed, they are going to end up in the big house. He also made reference to Mr. Vaz, and for those of you that don't know, Mr. Vaz had his visa revoked. We are speaking about maybe about a year or so ago. And if you did not know, Mr. Vaz was also a US citizen. However, in basically that's why US citizenship and wanted to be Jamaican because he wanted to run for politics. So people, ask yourself this question: are so much money in a politics in a Jamaica that somebody is going to actually, I am speaking about a sane person, is actually going to give up a US citizenship to come to Jamaica just for run for politics? So people, it only shows you. Use your head, read between the lines. You see why these persons want to get involved in politics in Jamaica, because it is very lucrative. And I am not saying that that is the case as it pertains to Mr. Vaz. Me just say, generally speaking. Now, based on the report, he is saying that he is working along with the government of Jamaica, namely Andrew Holness and the JLP, and they are going to stamp out corruption at the island's port. Now, people, when we talk about port, we are talking about a wharf, we are talking about the airport, we are speaking about air and seaport. And people, if you know anything about the seaport, we are speaking about it is controlled by the Chinese. And if you know anything about the relationship as it pertains to China and Jamaica, or China and the United States, people, it is not very good. We are speaking about a relationship of jealousy. And if you know anything about America, we are speaking about under Mr. Trump's and under his management, they don't like a bone in a China. And anything with China have to do with anybody, they are going to cut them off. So basically, like this ambassador is saying, most of you people that are taking side, if you want to pick side with China, more than likely your visa is going to be revoked. So people, we are speaking about United States, the big bad America. It seems as if they are getting jealous, and it seems as if they are telling Jamaicans. We're talking about politicians, we're speaking about government officials, and we're also speaking about persons in the private sector. So the essence of what the ambassador is saying, pick a side and stick to it. If you pick China, more than likely your US visa will be revoked. And people, I am not saying that this is definitive. Me just say he is watching and they are jealous. They are having some sort of feelings as it pertains to China and Jamaica relationship. And if you realize what has been going on, we see that Jamaica has been in bed with China. We are talking about deep. We are talking about some PORN type of ish, point blank and period. And based on the memorandum of understanding, it is said that US, we are speaking about intelligence and also customs authority from United States, will be partnering with people in Jamaica. We are talking about the Popo, we are talking about customs, and they are going to have a mutually beneficial agreement that is beneficial to America and also Jamaica. And people, if you know anything about Jamaica, it is a central point of drugs going from Jamaica to America, all over Europe. We are talking about Canada, UK, Rete, Lele, Blue, blah, bling. And of lately, it has exploded. We see that there's been a lot of cases as it pertains to those Popo we're speaking about from St. James that were busted in Atlanta and also Charlotte, North Carolina, and all over the place. So people, it look like the United States, they are getting very serious. They are putting down their foot. They are stamping their ground, and they are making people that are involved in any sort of illicit activity, RE drugs, we are talking about GUNS. Watch yourself, because more than likely, not only are you going to lose that visa, you are going to get a free trip. We are talking about to the big house. We are talking about to the feds. Point blank and period. So anyways, people, that is my views on the whole thing as it pertains to that. And like me say, it is just my views and opinion. It is not the gospel. Your views and opinion can be respectfully different from mine. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Bless up. Now, before I move to the next part of my video, please subscribe to my next channel. We're speaking about Jamaica Dancehall Source, one word. I'll be pinning the link to that channel in the description of this video. And also, please subscribe to this channel through Jamaica Buzz. And when you subscribe, please press the notification bell or icon, and also press all in the option. Now, the next thing that is popping in the news is that we see that slap-away charges have been laid against 3 relatives of a person whose name is Tamara Geddes. Now, she was a lady that was slapped away in the presence of her daughter. We're speaking about in Falmouth, we're talking about Trelawney. Now, based on the information, it is said that the 2 women and also a teenager who happens to be the family member of the person that was slapped away were charged for conspiracy. We're speaking about 39-year-old Nadine Geddes, who is a sister of Tamara Geddes, and also we're speaking about her daughter, who is 21-year-old, and her name is Shanique Raddock, and she is a niece of the deceased, and also an ex-teenager. We are talking about a young'un. Now, based on the information, it is said that the 3 that lived at the bottom floor at the same house in which this lady was slapped away, they were taken into custody by the Popo on Tuesday during a questioning that took at least 2 days. They allegedly confessed to hiring a hitman for slap with this lady. We are talking about Tamara Geddes. Now, people, these are family members. These are nieces and also sister. We are talking about blood. So, people, when them say the red thing run thicker than water, maybe in this case it is not the truth, because we see say evil basically consume these people. We are talking about the heights of wickedness. Point blank and period. And also, based on the Popo report, it is said that 2 other persons that were also implicated in the slap-away, they were arrested and taken into custody. We are speaking about in Westmoreland. Now, people, if you remember, Mrs. Geddes was the lady that was slapped away, and she was robbed of a couple of phones and I think $16,000 in her house on June 19. And this person also wanted some sex. He wanted to jump over our fence. However, when she declined, him slap her away. Now, people, when we think about the fact that This lady, we are speaking about the sister of this lady. She was downstairs and she claimed that she did not hear anything. Now, people, if you know anything about the pie, whenever it goes off, you can hear it from about a couple of city blocks. So therefore, if you are downstairs, more than likely, unless you are comatose, unless you are DEAD, you're supposed to hear it. Somebody's supposed to hear it. So basically, due to the fact that the papa was told by this lady, may I talk about the sister, that she did not hear anything, she was sound asleep, it kind of raised some sort of red flag. It made them know that something was fishy, something into something, and people like them say, wherever there is smoke, there is also fire. Now, people, when we think about this incident, when this incident does occurred, we saw that the media went to the house and the sister was bawling. She was putting down some sort of cow bawling, and she was claiming that this person was such a jovial person. However, based on them survey, based on their intelligence, based on their investigation, the Popo found it out that this family member and others were always in some sort of verbal and physical altercation. This sister did not like the other sister, who was a beautiful lady. And if you look at this sister, you can see evil all over her face. And people, what is even more disturbing about the whole thing is that she actually convinced her other daughter, including a daughter that is 14-year-old, to hire somebody to slap with them own relative. People, we are speaking about the heights of evilness. We are speaking about the heights of wickedness. And it only shows you that as it pertains to Jamaica, you can't trust nobody. You can't trust the preacher. You can't trust the popo. You can't trust the politician. And even more disturbing or mind-boggling is that you can't even trust your own relative. You can't trust your own sister and brother. People, the truth and the fact that Jamaica has plummeted to a new low, and people, this is just another indication of how things are getting bad. So therefore, you have to be careful. You have to watch everybody, have to scrutinize any and everything, because you don't know who to trust. Nobody or anybody can be trusted in these days. Point blank and period. So people, the moral of the story is this: there is no such thing as a perfect crime, and when it comes to karma, karma will always catch up to you. So therefore you can run, but you can't hide. And in this case, we see that that is the case. So anyways, people, that is my views on the whole thing as it pertains to that. And like me say, it is just my views and opinion. It is not the gospel. Your views and opinion can be respectfully different from mine. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Bless up.